As a commercial property manager, you are responsible for a massive, valuable physical asset that you rarely see and almost never step on. Your building's interior operations can run flawlessly day after day. Meanwhile, the roof above slowly degrades under constant sun and seasonal weather. Because the roof is out of sight, many management strategies rely entirely on emergency phone calls or angry tenant emails to determine when service is needed. By the time an active leak drips from the ceiling, the exterior damage is already severe. Water has likely breached the membrane, saturated the underlying insulation, and compromised the roof decking. The central challenge of property management is choosing your path. You can either control your building's maintenance schedule or let the next major rainstorm control it for you. This threat matrix compares proactive maintenance to reactive repair. The bottom left represents early discovery. Clearing a drain pre-storm is low cost. Ignore it, water backs up, seams break. You move to the top right, paying high emergency costs for water extraction and tenant displacement. The question is whether the administrative effort and upfront cost of quarterly roof checks is worth paying to avoid the financial disaster of that top right quadrant. The math favors the effort. Routine maintenance allows you to turn unpredictable, compounding roof risks into a stable, planned operating budget. Here is our vulnerability scorecard showing exactly what stresses a commercial building. First on the list, Pasadena's unique combination of year-round heat and seasonal rain. Months of intense UV exposure bakes flat roof membranes and dries out flexible sealants, turning them brittle and prone to cracking. When the rains finally arrive, wind-blown tree debris chokes the scuppers and primary drains. Water stops flowing and starts ponding, pressing heavily on those exact brittle seams. Relieving this pressure requires scheduling a professional to physically clear the drainage paths and inspect those sealants before the wet season starts. Removing that debris allows the low-slope surface to shed water exactly as engineered, taking thousands of pounds of structural weight off your building. Paying for a seasonal evaluation to clear a drain costs significantly less than repairing a collapsed deck or replacing a fully saturated roof field, as the second item highlights. Our next major stressor involves people. Your commercial roof operates as a high-traffic service platform for HVAC technicians, telecom installers, and electricians. These service visits leave a silent trail of damage. A dropped screw, a misplaced walk pad, or a heavy boot easily punctures a fragile membrane, creating a tiny, invisible entry point for rainwater. You prevent this by having a roofing professional inspect and document the condition of HVAC access paths and equipment curbs immediately following heavy vendor activity. This requires you to actively track who accessed the roof and when, but doing so establishes an exact timeline of any new damage. Holding vendors accountable prevents you from paying out of your own budget to fix severe leaks caused by another company's careless technician. That vendor accountability ties into our next point, the administrative friction HOA boards and managers face when trying to get repair budgets approved. This split screen shows a proper roof file. On the left is a time-stamped captioned photo of an open seam. On the right, it is assigned a clear priority rating. This specific visual evidence eliminates the need for your board members to understand technical roofing terms. It replaces their vague concerns with objective facts. Applying this administrative discipline upfront removes internal confusion, curtails resident frustration, and streamlines your emergency response when a storm hits. To gather those photos, you might consider sending an untrained handyman or standard maintenance staff up the ladder to save money. Warning tone: doing so creates severe safety liabilities. Commercial roofs have hidden hazards, and strict OSHA fall protection rules apply whenever anyone works near an exposed edge or skylight. Beyond the danger, untrained staff miss critical details. A failing pitch pan or an open lap can look perfectly fine from a distance, requiring an experienced eye to spot. Additionally, clumsy foot traffic on an aging flat roof frequently cracks old sealants, accidentally causing the exact damage you are trying to prevent. Utilizing a trained roofing professional acts as a liability shield. It protects human safety while ensuring your delicate roof surface remains intact during the inspection. Deferring these professional inspections guarantees one outcome: neglect will cost you significantly more than routine maintenance. Look at direct costs on the left. Waiting guarantees emergency fees, wet insulation removal, and premature roof replacement. But indirect costs on the right ruin budgets, factoring in rent concessions, damaged inventory, and business interruption. A retail manager cannot afford a single day of forced closure, and a medical office faces liability if water damages sensitive diagnostic equipment. A commercial roof leak is rarely confined to the roof. It immediately disrupts operations throughout the entire building. This flowchart defines your immediate next steps. The critical first question is, has your roof been inspected by a professional in the last 12 months? If you have widespread wet insulation and ponding water, bypass patching and plan for full replacement. But if you lack a recent inspection, follow this path. Your next action is scheduling a baseline evaluation to document current conditions. Stop waiting for the next storm to dictate your budget and schedule. Contact Commercial Roofing Pasadena to establish your baseline condition, correct those early defects, and take permanent control of your building's future.